Super Mario 3D World. The Wii U port makes its way onto the Switch, featuring the bonus Bowser's Fury game mode, so it's jam-packed with content, as well as glitches that still work. I've already covered Bowser's Fury glitches in its own video, so today we're taking a look at the main game. There are still 15 glitches that still work and have survived patches. Some are a blast to do, while others are just plain weird. So let's jump right into them. Let's kick this off with a glitch that can be done in the very first level of the game, Super Bell Hill. Play through a majority of the level until you reach the final area near the flagpole. Come off to the left-hand side with a catsuit and maneuvers here on the far side of the fence. You'll begin to jitter like this, but keep holding the control stick towards the fence and slide down. Once you reach a certain point, the camera will shift down way further than it's supposed to, completely losing track of the character. It'll stay like this until you either hop back up on solid ground or shift away from that specific spot. Not sure why it happens in only this spot, but it's kinda neat. This fence stutter is also kind of a glitch within itself, just perpetually falling and saving yourself. Looks really strange for whichever part of the glitch you do. Moving on to a unique glitch that only works with one character, Toad. So sorry Luigi, you know you're my favorite, but we gotta switch it out for Toad for this one. We need a level with snowballs, so I'm using 3-1. Once in the level, we need to become small. So take damage if you need to and locate a snowball. Long jump at the snowball, keep Y held, and once you grab on, this happens. Toad will begin sliding backwards, holding the snowball, and you'll have very little control over the direction. You can hold up and down to make him slide a little bit off course, but you can't stop going backwards. The glitch will stop when you either throw the snowball, run into something, or fall off the map. This is one of the more entertaining glitches to me, as it's just so random. I guess it has something to do with Toad's height being smaller than the rest of the characters, as I don't think he can touch the ground when grabbing a snowball like this. This is also the only glitch that is character specific in the whole game, so I'm glad it's with Toad. I couldn't find any practical uses for this besides looking goofy, so if you know of any, post them in the comments. Sticking in 3-1 Snowball Park, there's another glitch we can do, and it might just be the best one in the game. All we need is a patch of ice and the ability to spam the crouch button. Find a big stretch of ice like this one here and begin running in a direction. Begin mashing the back bumper buttons to repeatedly crouch, and you'll quickly rack up a ton of speed. And I'm talking a ton. As soon as you jump, you'll really see the effect in action. If you have a Tanuki suit or the propeller, you can just go flying to the other end of the level in seconds. This glitch works on any level that has a patch of ice, but I'm just using 3-1 as an example. But I know there are other ones out there. But yeah, anytime you see ice, just begin spamming crouch and watch the chaos ensue. I had a blast with this one and it's probably my favorite in the game. I just wish there were more ice levels to mess around with. I wonder how fast you could go with this if you really had a big enough runway. Still, even in 3-1, you can get from the starting area over to the end pipe in a matter of seconds, so it's pretty sweet. There's also a cool side effect you can pull off with this glitch. Come onto this patch of ice and aim down towards this fence. Right before you touch it, aim down right and continue mashing. After a couple of seconds, the game will slow down a lot. This footage right here is not edited at all, and you can watch almost everything around me slow down to a complete stop. I tried to crash the game by just continuously doing this, but I don't think you can get it any more laggy than this. Once you're done, just jump and the game will go back up to speed instantly. There's a lot you can do with this, so if you're going to do any glitch from this video, this is probably the best one, as it's just so much fun. In 5-2 Tricky Trapeze Theater, there's an invisible platform we can stand on. About halfway through the level, there is a clear pipe entrance. For some reason, the collision here is bigger than it's supposed to be. By either springing up or sliding down from the top, there's a tiny invisible ledge you can stand on. You can't do anything here besides shimmy around, but it looks cool to just see your character floating in the air like this. You can stand in front or on either side of the pipe, but again, it's very small. Using a catsuit will make it easier to get to, but you can access this glitch without it, with a little more maneuvering. I wonder if there are any other instances of this in another level, or maybe it's just this only clear pipe that does it. The Super Bell is obviously one of the best power-ups this game has to offer. When you're in the air, you can perform a cat dive by pressing Y. However, upon landing, you'll slam onto the ground, halting all momentum you had. It doesn't matter if you were stationary or sprinting, it'll stop you in your tracks. However, if you cancel a dive just before hitting the ground, you can keep your momentum and continue flying around the level. This can easily be done by just letting go of Y just before hitting the floor. Jump immediately after, dive, and repeat. You can change directions on a dime and just keep moving forward. It's a very handy thing to know, as completely stopping can be pretty dang annoying at times. Now you can just be a speed demon around the whole level and look good doing it. Moving over to the second level in the game, Koopa Troopa Cave, we're going to be using their shells to get stuck. Right when you enter the cave, you'll see this section, and then grab the shell. Thank you. We need to ground pound the single block in the back here, leaving the front. have the shell, and just drop into the hole. The shell makes you too big to fit down the 1x1 hole, so you just float here. Looks pretty funny, but whenever you run out of amusement, you can just wiggle left to right to squeeze through and fall down. Similarly, later in the level, you can use them on these floating clouds. Make it so only the shell touches the cloud, and boom, you'll have a few seconds where you can just hang off the side. If you run at it with full speed, you'll get some funny results like this. It takes a while for the game to correct itself, but yeah, I wonder if this is possible in other levels. I'm sure it is, but what else is possible with a shell? In World Bowser, level 6, A Beam in the Dark, there's an interesting glitch with floating doors. After the vertical section, you'll get flung towards these set of doors. Some will leave you hanging over nothing, causing you to drop down and try another door. However, if you hold any direction on the control stick and mash jump right as you take back control of your character, you can jump on thin air. While this is fun to do on its own, it can be used to land on the correct platform and get to the door quicker. For some reason, this doesn't work if you don't hold a direction on the controller, but I believe this is the only place this glitch is possible at. I'm unaware of any other levels that contain floating doors. Still, if you pick the wrong door the first time and don't want to waste an extra 3 seconds, you can do this glitch. In 1-3 Mount Beanpole, there is a visual glitch you can do with a super bell. Climb up the first set of obstacles until you're here with the 2 cat Goombas. The one on the right is what we have our eye on. Wait for them to be at the bottom of their little hill, and with a cat suit of your own, paw them into the brick blocks behind us. Once the super bell pops out, it'll sometimes stay stuck inside the bricks. A little something like this. The bell can still be collected, but it's neat to just look at it from up here. It's not often we can perform glitches with the power-up items themselves, so I love it. You can collect the power-up by either jumping into it or hitting the POW to clear the blocks out of the way. Back in 1-2, there is a classic glitch that everyone loves in Mario games, getting infinite lives. This also follows the traditional Mario method of bouncing on a Koopa shell repeatedly. To do it, come down to this tiny pocket while holding a Koopa shell, stand here, throw the shell, and jump. Due to the tight corner, the shell can just be bounced on over and over, allowing us to get as many lives as we want. In this game, the lives cap out at crown, which is just past 999. Using this trick, it'll only take you about 2 minutes to reach this maximum number, pretty much setting you for life on lives. If you ever manage to get a game over after this point, I'd be pretty disappointed. Up next, we got a unique glitch that you can do in the Overworld. Petting characters. Pressing down on the D-pad anywhere will bring up snapshot mode. While in snapshot mode here, hold R and exit the mode while keeping it held. You'll notice that a hand stays behind wherever your cursor was, and it stays there with you. You can now interact with it by walking up to it, and it'll give you a nice little pat. Nice. When you move, it'll also shift around almost away from you as it's trying to keep up, so you can just clip it inside of levels or other objects. When using the right stick to shift the camera is when it really goes flying. It'll teleport below the world, or go flying to the right. Not the craziest thing in the world, but it's fun to mess around with in the Overworld and is extremely easy to do. Just enter snapshot mode and hold R. Sticking with the Overworld quick, I believe there's only one other glitch you can do. Clipping through slot machines. In each world there is a lucky house, and while one is still active, you can just jump through them. Start by walking a little bit away from it, run, and jump. The area to bring up the A button text bubble doesn't pop up in time, so we can just jump right through it in a glitchy way. This is the only building or level, I guess, that you can do this, as all the other types behave correctly. But yeah, anytime you're in any world and you have a lucky house active, you can just do this glitch. Level Castle-5, weird name I know, but Trick Tap Tower features something a little interesting. At the very end of the level, after dying 5 times to these dang electric dudes, you'll reach the upper level with the flagpole. For some reason, the wall back here isn't solid, meaning there is no collision to block you from doing this. If you time a jump correctly, or just be safe and use a catsuit, you can clip into the building here. It's funny to see your character's head just pop out the top or the side. You can access both tiers here by crouching, but there's not much else you can do. So whenever you're done looking cool, you can just hop out or walk out and beat the level. In World Bowser-5 Deep Water Dungeon, there's a glitch we can do with enemies. Right at the beginning of the level, there are these 2 Madpoles. If you press R to bring up the cursor and freeze either of them, the moving water will cause the enemies to teleport after you let go. The freeze causes them to stay in place and then snap back to wherever the water is currently. Looks really weird, and if you're skilled enough to keep both of them frozen, you can do both at the same time. I kind of forgot about this whole cursor thing in general until today, so it's interesting that there's a glitch you can do with it. Finally, a glitch with Captain Toad. In the World 5 level Captain Toad Plays Peekaboo, there is a tiny clip we can do. Walk through the first door after landing in, and come over to this moving block. Stand on the side just off the block and then activate it. If you're positioned just right, Toad will stay on the ground, allowing us to clip inside the block. This glitch will last all of 5 seconds until the block goes back down. But yeah, super crazy. I could only get this insane glitch to work while standing off to the left side, not the top or the right. But maybe I just suck and couldn't find the sweet spot. I kind of forgot about Captain Toad as well, and these levels are pretty fun, so I may actually finally get the game and make a glitch video on that too. Going back to enemy glitches, I love this one for some reason. At times throughout the game, you can skip past the activation for enemies starting to attack you. A good example is Bowser Dash 1, Spiky Spike Bridge. After the first teleport box thing, you'll see a fire bro off in the distance. Jump the gap instead of running up the Spiky Spike Bridge, and you'll notice that the bro stays in place and pays no attention to you. You can stand next to him, or in front, staring into his eyes, and he just will not do anything. Maybe he doesn't get paid enough by Bowser and is just hoping you remain neutral too. If you backtrack 10 steps and walk down the bridge, he'll finally become active. But it's neat that this is possible. This glitch can also be done in other levels, but this is probably the easiest spot to pull it off. So that'll wrap up the glitches that still work in Super Mario 3D World for the Switch. I had a great time revisiting this game to finally look at some of these bugs. Like I said in the beginning, this game also features Bowser's Fury as a side mode, which I already made a video on. So if you want to know what other glitches this game has in store, be sure to check that out. I'll leave a link at the end of the video. But for now, I'm gonna get up out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, see ya!